So with that, I am going to, well, I have the pleasure and the honor of introducing Tina Regester. Tina is with the Maryland Department of Transportation. She has been the Marketing and Customer Relations Manager for Maryland State Highway Administration for the last 6 years and works with their Office of Communications. Tina has worked in nonprofit and government sector for almost 30 years in various communications and media relations roles. She currently manages Maryland State Highway Administration's SHA's paid and non-paid campaigns and events. She also assists their media relations department as a public information officer during the winter weather months and occurrences, which are always interesting here in the Mid-Atlantic region. So with that, I welcome Tina.
Thank you, Jim. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here today and just wanted to share some of the things that we've done in the past and really share an event that we did last year, which is it was an event that was different for us for the first time. So I'm going to say, Kevin, I'm going to say next on this slide, please. So each year, the State Highway Administration in Maryland, we do participate in Crash Responder Safety Week to promote responder and road safety use. So some of the things that we have done, we always submit a governor's proclamation. We hold social media campaigns. We host events, trainings, issue press releases. We hold those press conferences, what Jim was mentioning. We have used the changeable message signs to bring attention to our state's move over law. Next, please. And last year, we want to do something a little bit different, something outside the box. And we met and we started planning, about this time last year. And what can we do something a little bit outside the box? And we know sometimes when our different shops and maintenance folks, they do things out in the community, what's really popular is when they attend those touch a truck events. And we thought, maybe could we do something like that? Maybe touch a crash responder truck. And, we started getting interested in about that. And then we were thinking, you know what, the trucks are great, but what we really wanted to focus on are the actual responders. So that idea kind of morphed into, how about let's do Thank a Safety Responder Day. But, we knew that we needed to have those vehicles on there. And we knew we also needed to have, it couldn't look like our typical, corporate marketing. It needed to be very family friendly, and we needed to have the, make it look like we knew parents needed to say, is this an event that I can bring my child to? So that's what we ended up doing. We had a Thank a Safety Responder Day. And in addition to that, we still continue to secure that governor's proclamation. Very, very important to do, because we know if we secure it and we're able to promote that, the governor's office, they're going to put that out on social media as well. We still continue to schedule the social media and did a nice social media campaign through and to promote it during the event and also throughout that entire week. And we also, that press release as well for the event, as well as in that press release, we could talk about Crash Responder Safety Week. So we did all of those other things that we normally have done, but instead of having that press event, we did the Thank a Safety Responder Day instead, but still invited the media to attend. Next, please. And the goal of this event is we wanted to have a really well-executed community event. We wanted to hold it close to Crash Responder Safety Week so it could really be that kickoff. So we could share these safety messages on social media and also at the event. And the objectives was to raise that awareness about the dangers that our crash responders face when they're responding to those roadway incidents. We wanted to educate the motorist of their responsibilities when they drive past those roadside incidents. We wanted to honor the crash responders who risk their lives. And then we really wanted to be fun and educational. If parents are going to bring their kids, it has to be fun. Our target audience was motorists with children, and also Maryland Department of Transportation employees with kids. Our State Highway Administration alone has 2,000. So our sister agencies. So I think a total was about 9,000 employees. So we wanted to make sure we wanted to reach, the children. So our employees that had children as well as grandchildren. And then we wanted to make sure we were able to measure some of the things. We wanted to, how many media outlets would be attending. And I'd go in a little bit of where we ended up having the event, but we wanted to invite the Baltimore and DC markets to cover the event. We wanted to, first time holding the event, we didn't know, how many children we're going to have. So we put out a number, and that number was to have 100 people in attendance. And at the end of the event, we wanted to see, could the children answer safety questions when asked? And then also, were we going to get positive feedback from the attendees, and including the adults? Because if we're getting positive information, hopefully they're paying attention and they're getting some information from the responders. Next, please. Next, please. So the tactics of the location. Oh, let's see. Can you go back one slide, please? Oh, okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is good. We can get right here. So the location. So we decided, where are we going to hold this event? So we wanted to have it at our State Operations Center, the SOC, and that serves as the hub for our Coordinated Highway Action Response Team, known as CHART. And that's our CHART responders. They're the ones that respond to motorists that break down on the side of the road, run out of gas, in crashes. So we wanted to hold it there. So you can see the building, and there's one of our CHART vehicles is parked right outside. So we were going to offer tours inside, which is the photo on the right. So when the families were coming up, they're going to see the CHART vehicle right outside. Our responders going to be there, welcoming the family members and speaking to them. And then they can go inside and they're going to tour, and they're going to see on monitors. They're going to see the roads. The adults are going to see the roads that they travel on. So hopefully make connections. So next time after the event, when they're traveling on some of these roads, they may kind of remember, oh, I remember seeing that road at that. And maybe if they see a crash responder, you see a police officer or one of our CHART vehicles on roadside next time they're traveling, maybe they may move over or slow down when they come in contact with see these vehicles. And then also that governor proclamation that we submitted, we secure that. And we had that proclamation on a stand, and that was as the folks were entering our SOC building, they could stop and they could read the proclamation while they were waiting their turn to enter, because only so many people could enter at a time. So that way they can read a little bit about what Crash Responder Safety Week was all about. Next, please. And how did we promote the event? So we issued that press release. And again, we didn't want, and then that included the flyer. And as I mentioned before, we didn't want to look like our typical corporate state agency. We wanted it to be very kid-friendly. No doubt we wanted parents to know, bring those children along. We set up a Facebook event page. We posted regularly on our social media platforms, and we did use the hashtag Touch a Truck. We wanted to make sure the parents that are searching for those Touch a Truck events, and my children are grown, but I have grandchildren, and I know how much they love those type of events. So we wanted to get their attention and know, and they would see the vehicles and on the flyers, and to attract their attention. We also run the next door pages in the area where we were hosting the event. We created banners on our homepage of our website. We sent out emails from our administrator to all of our employees, from the secretary of the transportation. So all 9,000 employees would be welcome to attend. In our employee newsletter, we also created, we ran messages on the variable message sign outside our complex the week of the event. So people in the neighborhoods. We also reached out to local schools and communities. There happened to be a Girl Scout, Boy Scout store right near our complex where parents can go and get uniforms and scout leaders could get badges. We made sure they were aware of it, and had flyers made. And also the participating agencies, we gave them the graphics and information, and also asked them to share on social media, just so to continue to get that message out and to have a further reach. Next, please. And then in addition to, I mentioned the chart patrol vehicles and our sister agencies, they're also their patrol vehicles. We invited the representatives from the fire and rescue and police in the local community. So we wanted to make sure, and it happened to be, it was in Anne Arundel County for those that are in the area. So we want to make sure that the communities that were local to our state operations center, that we were reaching their local fire and police departments. So it really to help make that connection. And we even had, if you can see in the photo, we had our Maryland State Police helicopter that makes rescues on the highways when there are really serious crashes, which happened to really be a hit. Logistically, it was very difficult because we needed to make sure we had a large space for that helicopter, and for all of the responders, the police and the helicopter, as well as ambulance and fire. They actually, helicopter left once and they weren't able to return, but the fire and ambulance, they made several calls where they had to leave. So logistically, we had to make sure they were on, and we knew they may had to leave, that we had to put them on the end facing outward, but they actually came back, and it was really it was exciting to know that even after they made they went out and made their runs, they came back to our event. So we had them placed strategically around. But we also couldn't make it too far apart because it was in November. We knew it was going to be chilly and cold. Fortunately, we had a mild November day, so the parents and children didn't have to walk too far. But all the children got to, either sit on the vehicles, go inside the vehicles, and talk to all the responders. Next, please. And we provided the responders with messaging, and we encouraged them to share information about their own roadside emergency experiences. And of course, we wanted it to be age appropriate. So, if it was a young child, we wanted to make sure, we didn't want it to be, gruesome, but we also wanted to make sure they could share those experiences. And you could see in some of the photos, they really captured not only the children's attention, but also the parents and grandparents. And it was a mixture of parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles actually came as well. And we also encouraged the responders to bring props and equipment to make the event interactive. We had, police were bringing plastic badges, fire were bringing plastic helmets to give out, in addition to props that they were sharing and showing with those in attendance. Next, please. And to make it so, again, they were learning. We provided each child, when they arrived, an activity sheet, and they were to collect stickers from the responders to earn a junior crash responder certificate when they were filled. So what we did is we gave all of the responders, they had little containers full of stickers. So all of the police had police stickers in containers, and the helicopter, they had helicopter stickers. So as the responders were talking to the kids and explaining what they did, and the kids were interacting with them before they would leave their area. They would give the children a sticker, or put it on their sheet, or give them a sticker. And then when the children went to each station and completed and filled their activity sheet, they would come back to us, and we would give them that blue there. It was their junior crash responder certificate. And when they came back to us, and it was very informal. We said, what did you like best? And they would tell us what they liked best, and we would ask them, what they liked most. And they were asking us a lot of great questions. And then in addition, we also had the kids, if they wanted to, they could make thank you cards to give to the first responders. And the first responders were very touched by that. Next, please. And then also this, we just also, how did we do when we did some measuring? One of the things I did, I know we're running, getting close to the time, but I did want to let you know we had it on a Saturday. So it was a Saturday before Crash Responder Safety Week. And we know that that can be a difficult time to get media, especially nowadays. Media can be very short. So we hoped we could get one media outlet there, and we had two. And what I wanted to share with, so our media person, director, prior to the event, when he pitched it, he worked with one of the local TV stations, and he asked them, if they would come out, take some footage, and they did. And what they ended up doing, they used that footage, and they ended up, the station manager ended up doing an editorial and used some footage and talked about Crash Responder Safety Week, and ran an editorial about the importance of Crash Responder Safety Week, which was really great, which that ran multiple times, in addition to some additional coverage from another news station. And in addition to having 100 people, which we'd hoped, we had over 350 people in attendance. And then we got some really great feedback. People were asking as they were leaving, are you doing it again? And we're hoping this year, we're going to be meeting shortly to start planning. And we're thinking about expanding and maybe doing more than one event, actually in a different location. So I think that concludes my portion. So I know I'm going to run out of time, and I know someone else is going to be speaking next. So back to you, Jim.
There's a question here, Kevin. The gentleman, I believe it's Bo Badgett, that had his hand up now for a while. Can you open his mic, and maybe Bo can speak up? Please tell us who you're with, Bo, and ask your question. Or does he have to do it?
Jim, I'm happy to step in until Bo gets in. So I think one question was specifically for the FHWA team. Can mayors of cities have state roads post proclamations for CRSW? And I don't know if you want to answer that or you want me to field that answer.
You go right ahead.
Yeah, so if there's a mayor that you're working with that is able to issue a proclamation, we would encourage that office of the mayor to become a CRSW ally in action, to post that proclamation through that QR code or that link. But if they don't have the bandwidth to do so, you're welcome to do so on their behalf. So you could fill out that form and upload that proclamation from that mayor, that county executive. And, either way works, whichever is easier for that organization. And then there was also a question by Tony Casella, when will the decision be made for the 2025 theme? And that will be announced during the next all states planning webinar taking place in August. I believe it's August 13th at 3 p.m. And it is the second Wednesday of the month. So that is the answer to that. There are a couple of open questions for Tina as well as for Sean. So I don't know if you want to cover those first, and then we can do the hand raising.
Well, being that you know where these questions are,
Sure, happy to ask a couple if you'd
continue
like.
on, Vishali.
Absolutely. So the next question I'm going to bring up is for Tina. There were a couple of questions. So I think the most important is, how did you get all of these agencies to get involved and to say yes? And how did you choose the location? Was it for media accessibility, public accessibility, responder accessibility? And can you duplicate this in Western Maryland or elsewhere? Tina, if you want to get on video, that would be great.
Sure. So good question. So, well, we chose, I'll go for first the location, because we looked at a few different ones, but the idea was we wanted to have folks be able to come to see where it all started. So how it works. So, that is the home of our chart program. And we thought that could help make that connection for our chart program. And if they could see, again, they could see all the roads come inside, take the tour, and just to make that connection and say, oh, I know that road. I travel that road every day. And then we just thought it could just making those connections, and that might change behaviors. It may not, but what we have to do what we could try. Making those little bit of connections could maybe change behavior. And then we knew also we needed a place that was large. Well, then we decided who we're going to have. So we knew we wanted to reach out to those local fire and police. And we reached out, and so receptive, because they know how important it is, and they do attend those touch a truck events, and they say how the community supports them, and they just knew it's important to get the message out and to make those connections. So they were very receptive about participating. And then when we started looking, we knew we needed to have plenty of space for the vehicles to be able to be spread out safely, because we know it needed to be safe, and we needed to know that we need to have parking for all of the vehicles, and easy access. So we had them come in one way and exit the other. And we had our safety folks at State Highway look at the plan, make sure it made sense. Also, we had to make sure for the helicopter that they were able to land safely. So their folks had to look at it and to make sure there was enough space around them for the safety to land. So did I answer all of the questions?
Yeah, and how would you make it happen in Western Maryland?
Well, and this is what we're talking about. So, this was the first time, I think it could definitely be duplicated. So we're going to meet again to determine, do we want to do the same one event? Could we do two, maybe regionally? Could we do multiples? Because I really think now that we've done it, we know some things that we could do differently. Maybe instead of stickers, maybe it's more of a stamper that they do, and stamp instead of doing the stickers. So we think that could be quicker. So maybe it could be more turnkey. Right now we have customer relations managers across the state for State Highway. So we could probably, make bins, and we do all of the, that type of planning. But if they're out in their, Western Maryland, they reach out to their local police and we're local fire, and they get them to attend. They just scout out the locations, but we could do the creative of the flyers, the press release, so I think it could be done in other states. So, and we'd be happy to share what we have with you. So it could be more, I think it can be more turnkey. And each year, you learn from what needs to be improved. And that was one of the things that we learned. Stickers. And I remember cutting all these stickers, hours and hours of cutting stickers. Should have bought stampers, and you learn. So I think it definitely can be done.
Excellent. And there's a question for Sean Sullivan in that, what if iHeartRadio is not in my market? How do I proceed? And is there anything in terms of the cost or charges in terms of these public safety announcements? I don't know if you want to cover those. That was multiple questions I combined into one.
Sure. Thank you. So, excuse me. iHeart definitely has a huge footprint across the whole United States. However, there are markets, in particular, I'll give an example, just south of me in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and Richmond, Virginia, there are no iHeart stations. However, through TTWN, because we provide those other radio companies their traffic and weather reports, we are under contract to be able to utilize the sponsorship of those reports. When it comes to PSAs for CRSW, there is no cost associated with it. It does all depend on whether we have available inventory, and we can definitely schedule something for you across the variety of formats in the market. And then the last thing I want to just talk about is towards the end of my slides, there was that radio-locator.com slide that talked about how you can find out exactly what radio stations are within your area. Definitely do a search. If you need me to help you in finding out what are the best stations in the markets, please reach out to me. Happy to help.
Excellent. Any questions that weren't covered, please ask them. I think we've covered all of the audience-based questions. So Jim, turn it back to
Yeah,
you.
thanks. Thanks, Vishali. And I see Mr. Badgett, uh, I guess, logged off. And I know Dr. Harden, James Harden, had his hand up as well, I believe, but no longer does. So I apologize to both of them for not.
No, he actually, he actually said he was accidentally had his hand up. So no question additional to what he already submitted.
Okay,
So we're good. We're
that
good.
happens to the best of us. So
Yes,
anyway, no, thanks, Vishali. And
absolutely.
let's see.
Next slide.
We're 28 minutes from closure, correct?
Yeah, we try to finish by 4:15, 4 to 4:15, but we do have
Well,
a few more things to cover.
yeah,
But
exactly.
yes,
So I just want to thank Tina and Sean for sharing and their great presentations and information that I'm sure is helpful to our audience. And we'll hopefully continue to collaborate with both of them moving forward. I'm going to go right into the roll call, Vishali.
sounds great.
So the next slide, I believe, is all the states. And this is going to be quick. I know there's some of you that will report. I'm going to do this in clusters, if you will. I'm not going to go state by state. So Alabama to Iowa. Does anybody want to share what their plans are, if any, at this point? So that's Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, DC, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. Any takers? Anybody want to share what you're planning? Anything new for the 10-year anniversary of CRSW? Okay. I'm going to move then to the second group. Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan. Obviously, we know what Maryland's doing. And I saw Dawn from Michigan. Dawn, do you want to chime in? Anything? Okay, if not, Tony Casella, I heard Vishali mention Tony from Minnesota. Okay, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico. Anything to share from any of you?
And it
Okay,
looks like Kevin Maxwell from Nevada said they are gearing up and hoping to be ready to share in August. So that sounds great.
okay.
And other states, if you're on the call and not quite ready today, but want to share in August, do text like Kevin has done in the chat so that we'll know and connect with you for next webinar.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So next group is New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington State, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Anyone from any state, would you like to share thoughts? You have a question? I see Nadine Olson raised her hand. I don't know if that's by error or Can you see if Nadine Olson wrote anything in the chat pod, Vishali?
I'm going to go ahead and try to unmute Nadine. Just a second. Kevin, have you unmuted? There we go. Go for it, Nadine.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to let everyone know that this year we plan to try to expand all the county proclamations to the top, or to all 72 counties in Wisconsin. And we also want to expand our mayor proclamations to the top 25 cities by population.
Outstanding. Outstanding, Nadine. And I saw Mike Youngbluth on as well. So you guys do phenomenal work every year. So thanks again, Nadine. Alex Leapley, Major Alex Leapley.
Well, I appreciate the promotion, but
I knew you'd like that, Alex.
yeah,
Captain.
yeah. Hey, Utah is going to do. I know some of the UDOT guys from Utah DOT are on, but we work in partnership with them. We'll be doing it again this year. We do media blitzes and press conferences and displays for CRSW. And we'll be doing another governor's proclamation again this year. Most years we try and focus on the 4-hour, what used to be the Sharp 2 training on the Wednesday for responder training day, and we'll do that again this year, hopefully with either a train the trainer course or just regular 4-hour course, or both, in various locations around the state. So anyway.
Very good. Great to hear your voice, Alex. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's see. Anyone else? Angela, I'm shocked that you haven't. Well, let me go first to Adam Perez. Can you unmute? There you go. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so Tennessee here. We've been getting a governor's proclamation for the last several years. We'll go for that again. I like the idea of getting the announcements out over the radio. So we'll work with our CRO office and see if we can get that out there. But, we're early on in our plans. I've thoroughly enjoyed today's message. It's given us some good ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to report a little bit more as we move along in one of the next webinars.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And, we're under 5 months away. I think 17, 18 weeks. So when you put it in that respect, you know how time flies. So everybody that's here today and the next round, our next webinar, we've really got to push the envelope to get, especially the proclamations, et cetera, going. So thanks again, Adam. I started to say that Angela Roper from the great state of Arizona usually speaks up, and she did not today. So kind of throwing her under the bus. Angela, you can yell at me. It's okay. Or just chime in.
Jim, it's amazing in the chat. A lot of great input. Minnesota's Christine Hernandez noted they began to create social media posts already, which is wonderful. Owen Hassan from Missouri said the same PSAs and governor's proclamations, etc. What's even better to hear is that New York has created a subcommittee for the steering group to discuss options in addition to social media and proclamation. And Georgia also has a working group underway. And so he'll have something more by the next webinar. Michigan, of course, Dawn said that Michigan will pursue similar CRSW activities, including the proclamation, media release, PSA. So one thing I'm going to try to plug again is we would love for all of you to become allies in action because you're already champions for CRSW and doing things for states. So make sure that before the next webinar, if you have a moment, complete that ally in action. And one of the things we hope to do is if you upload your organization's logo, we're going to hopefully present that as a part of the national kickoff webinar. So
Very
all
good.
really good stuff.
Yes, for sure. Anyone
Okay.
else?
Am I unmuted?
You are,
You are,
Angela.
Angela.
Yay! Yay! Hey, did Dr. Harden, is he on here? He was earlier. Did he give his spiel
No,
on?
he did not. He got mad because I guess I didn't get to him in time, and I think he stepped away. But we love Dr. Harden. He's
Well, you
a
know,
leader in the emergency medical services world in your state of Arizona, correct?
yes, and let me tell you, this man has created a spreadsheet that is, I don't know, 2 pages long, and it has every discipline what everybody needs to do. And
Yeah.
it goes through, you know, the DPA, every entity, stakeholder involved. He's got something they can do. Plus, what we've already done, you know, previously, like with the Domino's pizzas,
I
they're
was just going to ask
increasing
you.
this year.
Yeah.
It's like even to more stores. I mean, he's done a phenomenal thing with that, and then I think he's trying to work with, the firehouse subs also.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what else he's been up to. He wasn't on our meeting yesterday, so but we are starting to talk. We are starting. We have been talking about it. So yes, Arizona will definitely
Yeah.
be a part. I will still do the proclamation for us, and so we will have that again.
Yeah. So for
we're gonna
those
try
that
and
are,
come up with something out of the box. I will tell you, I loved her presentation. Phenomenal. It reminds me of Move Over Day, but it's just like on steroids. So I loved it. I loved it. So fantastic job for her. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
so Angela, to what Angela spoke to, over the last 2 years in Arizona, they have had little Crash Responder Safety Week flyers stuck to pizza boxes for a major pizza delivery chain so that anytime a pizza is ordered and delivered, they get the delivery with a flyer that says Crash Responder Safety Week. So to have multiple restaurant venues promoting Crash Responder Safety Week is incredible. And if you want to learn more about how they made it happen, shoot out a quick question or message to Jim, and we'll connect you with the man, the legend, the myth, who has done some really creative things for Crash Responder Safety Week. So thank you, Angela.
You bet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Harden's
Absolutely.
one of a kind. He's a great one to have on your team, but you got to limit his emails. I'll just say that.
Okay. Anybody else here? We're almost at half past the
Yeah,
hour.
we're about out of time. So if we want to close, this would be the time to do it. We have one more ask, I think.
Do we have
So
another
next
question in the
slide.
box? Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is upcoming, as you said earlier, Vishali. The
Mhm.
next All States Planning, August 13th. Please join us. And you see there, we're going to have Christopher Flores, social media strategist from Wisconsin DOT. And then our next one in September 10th. And then the big day for CRSW week, the kickoff webinar. So please do join us, and please keep doing great things. All of you are leaders and champions, and we can't do it without you. And boy, on behalf of Federal Highway, US DOT, Tim Program Office, Sharon Cuevas, who's my colleague that's still on, and Dave Johnson, our team leader. Vishali Shah, Kelly Claver, and of course the National Operations Center of Excellence, Kevin Vida, and the executive director. I noticed Nicholas Ramphos was on with us today, the executive director of the NOCO. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe.